Sylvia here, and today I have a video about a brilliant thing called strobing. So you may have heard this buzzword in the makeup community as of lately, but I will show you how I go about dialing down a strobe to something that you can wear on an everyday basis, all the way up to dialing up the strobe so that you can rock it and look like a goddess out there. I partnered up with Sephora to find the best strobing products out there, so you can find all of these products I use in Sephora. Additionally, if you're still nervous about trying out these looks after you watch this video, you can always head into Sephora to visit their beauty studio to get a mini makeover to recreate these looks. So as you can see, my makeup is very minimal today, so I don't want to overdo the strobing so that I look like a light bulb, but we do want to give a little bit of enhancement just to really make the skin look dewy and not necessarily super vibrant, but just for that dewy, stroby look. So I'm starting with Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Duo, and this is in the shade 1. I'm gonna pick up some of that darker color at the bottom half. This color is nice and bronzy, but still has a pinky undertone so that it won't look too harsh on your skin. I'm gonna put it where the hollows of my cheeks are, and that's usually right where your ear is. Or if you wanna make the sucky face, you can find out. Dusting that back and forth. And then also dusting up and down to really feather it out so that it does not look harsh at all. This is just gonna give us a little bit of depth so that when we strobe, you can see really the high points of the face. So I'll also bring this color up on the forehead a little bit to just give me some depth. And a little bit under the chin. Okay, so obviously the first part you want to strobe is your cheekbones. So it's very easy when you smile. That's kind of where the top of your cheekbone is, and it goes back to where your temple is. You can kind of feel the bone. If you just touch it like this, you can feel where your cheekbone is. So I'm using the Tarte Skin Twinkle palette, and I'm using the color Moonlight, which is a rosy pearl, but it has some like yellowy undertones to it so that it will just highlight my natural skin tone color. For a dialed down look, I like using a brush because it gives a lighter hand rather than pressing the product on. So I just use a small angled brush like this and just dust it along my cheekbone. And then again, I want to do the up and down blending motion to really just blend it out. I like to bring it up a little bit into like a C shape so that when the glow hits your face, it kind of just illuminates that whole section. So you can kind of see the glow happening there when I nod my head up and down. Now I'm going to use the same color for just right above my brow bone. So this kind of gives you a taller brow bone, so your brows just look more like amped up, I feel. You really want to just brush it and make sure it's blended when it comes down to a dialed down look because you don't want harsh lines. A little bit on the chin. I like to highlight my nose bridge as well, but I don't like to use a super shimmery color. I don't want my nose to be like shimmery, it's right in the middle of my face. So instead I'm using the Filtered Light, which is a matte highlight color from the Tarte palette. And I'm just gonna get that a little bit on my finger. And I like to put it right in this dip right here so that it looks like I have a more narrow nose. And also just down the center. So as you can see, with a more dialed down look, you're really just getting that nice dewy looking glow for the summer. Okay, so for the dialed up look, I'm starting straight from the base. I'm going to be using Sephora's Radiant Luminizing Drops under my foundation to really give that glow underneath. So I'm going to pat this into where I would typically put my highlighter, so that's of course on the cheekbones, a little bit on the chin, a little bit down the bridge of my nose, and a little bit on the cupid's bow right here. And then I'll go ahead and put on a light layer of foundation. So as you can see, it adds that pearl-like glow under the foundation. So afterwards, I'll put a little bit more of the same product on top by just dotting it where I want it to be, and then blending that in. This one is great because it really suits every skin tone. There's really no like color pigment to it. It is just like a luminous highlighter all the way around. So this will really work for any skin tone. So to add a little bit of a color to the cheeks, I use the Nars Multiple, which is shimmery in its own, so it really kind of helps that strobing effect while giving you color. So I just put this on my apples and my cheeks, like this, and again, blend it in. And because we're really just going for it with this look, I'm going to be using the Kat Von D Metal Crush eyeshadow in Thunderstruck. It's a super metallic whitish tone color, but when you move it around, you can see that there's pink and yellow undertones to it, so it actually really works as a great highlighter for your skin. I popped that on my brush and just go along the cheekbone, and you can already see it picks up so much color in the light. It's gorgeous. And I dust a little bit on my chin as well. For the smaller sections of the face, I go in with a smaller brush so I can really get that intense highlight rather than a blended out one. So right here on the eyebrow, I really want to concentrate it there and not blend it too much because I really just want those highlighted spots to pop. Of course, down the nose. And my favorite spot is Cupid's bow. I kind of look like I have a milk mustache right now, so I'm gonna put on some lipstick. And here's the dialed up look. As you can see, it's much more highlighted. I kind of look like a light bulb that just glows. And the points of strobing are very much more concentrated rather than all over the face. So I hope I was able to bring your strobing to the next level, and I want to see your look, so make sure you tag me and Sephora Canada and hashtag beauty together so we can just see. We'll see it all. I'll talk to you guys again soon. See ya.